second. Let's see. Does it make a difference? No, don't make no difference. Let's do that then. Oh, it looks a little bad. No, that looks horrible. Let's not do that. Try again. Not bubbles. Glow. I'm already glowing. Whatever. What are you gonna do? All right, everyone. Car video with my big white face, my big white moon-like face. I look like the. I do. I look like the man on the moon. A lot of traffic here today. A lot of people. Phone call. Hey. So I'm about. Hope I'm back on now. Car videos when they look so weird. Comic Artist Pro Secrets on Skyver. It is a car video. And we're doing the same thing that we do every day. We're going back in. Fulfillment is a long process. If I want to draw, which I do, I have to draw at night. I don't get to do as many videos as I want to do, especially now. I mean, Star Wars is rocking. There's the Brie Larson bait tweet, Kevin Feige, all of this great news. A little bit about Rose Tico came out today, but I already knew that. I think I already mentioned it before. I mentioned that Rose Tico, has been elevated in rank in the new movie, and God bless her for that. Hopefully they can get her out of that potato sack. So it's like I want to make videos, but most of my day, let's see, is being spent. Most of my video making time is being spent at the warehouse signing comics for you guys, which listen, this is the kind of problem you want to have. It isn't a real problem at all. It's kind of it's a little bit boring, but it's a pleasure knowing that these books are going out. You guys are receiving them. What can I tell you? I love this book. The more I read it, the more I go over it, the happier I am, the more at peace I feel that we're on the right track. Cyberfrog is an IP that I created in the 90s, and it was just meant to be a comic book. It never really became anything else. It almost did. It almost became a toy line and a TV show. And people might not know this, but in 1997, Surge Enterprises, which was the firm that represented Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, got them going, made them into, a household word, said, hey, we like things that come from the pond. We'd like to represent Cyberfrog. And we can we can package a nice deal together for him. And so, of course, Harris Comics went for it. And, flew me out to Los Angeles, flew me out to Vancouver first. In Vancouver, I went to, let's see, what was it called again? Sometimes I forget basic things like this, names of things. Mainframe Animation. There it is. Mainframe Animation. They were doing Beast Wars. They were doing Reboot. Early CGI television. Probably looks like garbage now, if you look at it now. And that's where I met Dan DiDio. Dan DiDio was the president of Mainstream, I think, or Mainframe. And, they were going to do the Cyberfrog animation. We had a deal with Fox Kids. And then they took me to LA to talk to Playmates Toys a couple of times. And both of those times were pretty illuminating. I sat down, I asked a lot of questions about toys from these guys. Mainframe, Surge Enterprises, of course, was just using all of its connections. Playmates Toys was doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys. So, of course, they're also going to, be open to anything else. I think they probably did Street Sharks, Cowboys of Moo Mesa. All of the other properties that Surge Enterprises tried to launch that didn't do as well. So anyway, I'm in this meeting with Playmates Toys. I'm showing them, they're showing me a prototype. I'm showing them that, I want Cyberfrog to have a sticky tongue attachment and things like that. We're going over these toys. And, it all went really, really well. They bought Cyberfrog. They bought the option to do the Cyberfrog toy line. And I received a big fat check for $13,000, with another check for $13,000 to come. And that was a lot of money. Oh my God, when I was 22, that was a load of money. And I bought a big screen TV with it. Back when big screen TVs were big screen TVs, they were basically enormous boxes that sat, in your living room and took up an awful lot of space. I bought one of those, like a projection TV to watch Star Wars on. Well, I mean, look, it didn't, it didn't last long. I remember, being told to do more toy designs, stuff like that. I was coming up with weird stuff for Cyberfrog. And one day when I was asleep in the afternoon, because that's the comic, when you're actually working on a comic book all the time, sometimes your schedule kind of flip-flops. You'll start working in the morning, and then you'll gradually work later and later and later until you're completely, you're a vampire. You're working nights and you're sleeping during the day. And that was the case. And I got a phone call from this guy, Tim. And he was just like, it was the same guy I sat with who told me that female action figures didn't sell. And he was in his car. He's just like, hey, he's like, I've just been fired. He's like, Japan came in and sacked all of our whole crew and canceled all of our projects. And, so that's it. I mean, Cyberfrog isn't going to be a toy line. And I remember just being like, I expected nothing to happen from this, I guess. I don't know. It would have been too good of a thing to happen at, the age of 22. So, he said, but stay in touch. I'm going to go over and work for Mattel. I didn't stay in touch. I should have. I wonder if he's like VP of something over there now. So anyway, that's the best that Cyberfrog did the last time around. It did not become a video game. It did not become a toy line officially. It didn't become any of those things, and I just instead went on to DC Comics and, quite happily plugging away doing what I do, which is to be a comic book artist. Now, I spent much needed training time at DC, learning my craft, learning how to do what I do and do it really well. And I produced some pretty great comics over at DC. That's all I did. That's all I did for 26 years. Here's the thing. It's just one thing that I'm good at that I just happen to choose to go and do. I mean, it's just one thing. My mom and dad are very talented. I'm very talented too. I'm versatile. I can do a lot of different stuff. Obviously a brilliant musician and singer. Maybe not. But comics, it's one art form. I do like it. I've chosen to devote most of my life to it. And boom, here we go. Cyberfrog Blood Honey. It's the first time I've been working for myself. Since I started working at DC, and I'm quite happy about it. The end result, I think, it's not the end result, it's just the first chapter, but the end result of the first chapter, I think, is pretty good. I think people's reactions to it are very telling. I don't think there has been, aside from Jawbreakers, I don't think there's been a comic that has come out from anyone else yet. And that includes the big guys. I mean, we're talking about guys that have raised, six figures, guys that have raised $800,000 on their campaign. I don't think there's been any reaction. I think there's been almost no reaction to those comics in comparison to the firestorm that was created by Cyberfrog. The passion of Cyberfrog. It matters. It matters to people. What we're doing matters to people. Cyberfrog is clearly, I think people are seeing, he was an over. Wow. He's somebody put a case of soda in the back of the car here, and it's banging around in the trunk when I make sharp turns. Cyberfrog is clearly an overlooked property, and people are excited about it because it touches them on a few different levels. I mean, it's you know, most adults look at this and they go, yeah, this is probably what I would have been into at 13. And I don't, you know, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm interested in this frog. You know, I'm not really sure. And you know, where's the next one? Where's the next one? That's something. That's that kind of Pringles effect of a comic book. That Pringles effect of a, you know, a good TV serial where people read it or watch it and go, I need the next one now. I haven't felt that way about too many things. I think Twin Peaks was the last time I felt that way. Like the new Twin Peaks, where on Showtime, where every episode left me baffled and wanting more. I want answers. What does this mean? You know, just fascinated by that show. On a smaller level, I mean, that is, I guess, look, I'm not David Lynch yet, but that is what we're accomplishing. Wow, $20 super chat. Cobra Kai's another one, yeah. Metron's Cube says someone needs more pie, you know. Everyone, I always need more pie. So that's it's exciting. It's exciting to see people's reactions to this. And honestly, wait to do the next one. That guy was a little discouraged with comic because the comic book industry completely and totally defamed me, defanged me, took away you know, any love or desire I had for doing comics. And that's what they do. I mean, that's what blacklisting will do to your heart. You know, it just makes you kind of go, I don't know why I ever liked this. I don't know why I ever liked being in comics. I don't know why I ever wanted to draw comics, because ridiculous. Why are we having problems already? We're not at the thing to do. I could go in there and get packages from you guys too. I could check my PO box, you know. All right, you guys are awesome. While drawing, get to the next cyber, get the same. What? It's boring. You know, the people to get the next Cyberfrog. What I can do is I can like tape. I can video. You know, me drawing, and then, you know, speed it up and talk over it. Those videos are pretty good. We got $5. I don't know what's going on. We're having a tough time maintaining a connection here. Even parked, we're having a tough time maintaining the connection. So what do I want to say? I want to say that really quickly, I still don't like the people in the comic book industry, and that includes people who you know, who I promote sometimes. I mean, some of those people are not good people, and it just becomes clear. But at the same time, I excuse them because I think blacklisting damages people's hearts. I saw it happen to me. And so, you know, I understand that, and I kind of have to excuse those people and just, you know, accept the fact that everybody's a little bit effed up. You know, from the very start of my time working in comics, I realized that everybody was a little effed up. And it's just a question of, like, can you deal with how effed up they are? Is there something, you know, is their effed upness something that you're prepared to cope with? You know, that's something that just has to be answered in order to work with these people. But one thing that hasn't changed and will never change is that I love to draw comics. You know, at my heart, no matter, you know, I might go through like a little bit of a you know, moment where I'd rather be doing something else. I think that people do. Sometimes I want to write songs. Sometimes I want to make videos. Sometimes I just want to do radio. Sometimes I just want to talk to you guys. But ultimately, I'll always love to do comics. They make me happy. And Cyberfrog Blood Honey, even though it's been a very strange experience. I mean, people's reactions to it have been very strange. People act like it's a direct threat to them, instead of what it is, a frog book, you know. I will always love to do comics, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one. Checkpoint says artists are effed up, Japanese are effed up. Put them together, and it's the perfect storm. K Dog says you do have a radio voice. Thanks. Armagod Bittersweet says, "What's up, my boy EVS? Hello." Last Fanfiction says, "Sometimes E eats pie, sometimes the pie eats EVS." 100%. Yeah, these people are mentally unstable. Where's Cyberfrog Wreck Planet, Ethan? Queen Bee says, "Always do what makes you happy." Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, that's, you have to kind of, if you're able to, you should do, what you want to do. If you're able to. Not everybody's allowed to do that. Not everybody is capable of doing that. Atari for Life says, "Better than saying you have a good face for radio." Well, that's true too. That is definitely true. War Campaign says, "Hail Caesar Victorious." Man of Action says, "When we get the NT Cyberfrog figures." What does NT stand for? Man of Action. I talked, TVQ in 1969 says, "I heard Doug's BS earlier. He should stick to what he does best, drinking." Yeah. It's not drinking. Doug's, and yeah, the stream is kind of about Doug. Doug is trying to get some attention for his campaign. It's ending today. He's trying to bait me into fighting him. I'm not going to fight with him. Jeremy's Star Wars hat says, "EVS have an In-N-Out burger on me." Ooh, thank you. I will. Craft75, thanks for $2.79. Clap car video. Hail the motherfucking War Campaign, says Jack Straw. Man of Action says, "Oh, are you going to do some Hot Toys 1/6 scale Cyberfrog figures?" Dude, I don't know. So I talked yesterday. We're going over the plans for what we want to do for the Cyberfrog toys, and I'm not really entirely sure yet, but one thing that got ruled out yesterday was no Salamandroid Build-A-Figure. Salamandroid will just be there, and because people feel like, oh well, we're not going to do a big enough line of toys to do a Build-A-Figure, just maybe 4. So, might as well just offer them Salamandroid and then just make it a little bit more expensive. And that makes sense to me. That's fine. Let's see. Mr. Morton says, "Why is War Campaign good now? Missed those videos. They were always good. They were, there was a rather dishonest attempt to align with that little fan club. So, I think that's it's a shame. Let's see. Michael Stoops says, "Just take my money, E." Oh, well, thank you. Cracklin says, "When I lived in Belize, I was called Sapo, which means frog because I'm Cajun French. That makes me feel a special connection with Cyberfrogs. It's always something. People love the frog." Charlie's London says, "Have a pie on me from the UK." And there's an X, I think, a kiss. Thank you, Charlie's London. Let's see. Rabbit T Cat says, "Live stream with Doug to close his campaign. Win-win." I don't think he wants to. Doug has turned pretty dark, and that's okay. He's doing fine by himself, 800, I think he's over $800,000, which is good. It's, that's nothing to sneeze at. Sereno Sketches says, "Earthworm Jim campaign closing tonight at midnight. So if you want to buy Earthworm Jim, now's the time to do that." Miss Quark says, "Who knows? Maybe one day you'll have a Happy Meal Cyberfrog toys." Oh, I would love that. I'd absolutely love that. All right, people are saying fuck tapeworms, etc., etc. Let me catch up. Am I going through a tunnel? No, I'm just parked. I'm parked at the post office. I'm just gonna do this video real quick. Cam 1138 says, "No, Doug won his own way." Yeah. It's like, and now the whole thing's about Doug. Stop. Hixie123 says, "Ethan received my comic yesterday. Afraid to open it. Looks too good to open." Read it. Read the comic. That's important to me. I want you to read it because if you read it, you're going to want the next one. Thor Odinson says, I want McFarlane style Cyberfrog toys. That'd be sick. David C says, I'd pay more than $40 for Cyberfrog historical hardcover, to be honest. Yeah, but that's all we're going to need to charge. You know, I mean, we're going to put it together quickly, because I want you guys to be able to have it for Christmas. That to me is the big bonus of this, is just to get a book out for Christmas. You know, that'd be cool. Matt Wanger's in here. I love Matt Wanger. I gotta get on him, have him on a stream again. I'm overwhelmed. I've got way too much to do right now. Let's see. Can we still order a copy of the comic? Of course, Rob Gonzalez. We have there's a new campaign up for line art variants. If you go to my Twitter, you'll find the link, or most of my videos right now, my more recent videos have the link to that, so you could go check that out. Some people don't like Wanger, you know. Yeah. Hail Big Wang. I like that, Big Wang. That's probably going to get clipped. Angry Spark says, pumped to see the Chromiums are shipping out. EVS, congrats again. Also, please check out Eternals on Indiegogo. 180 pages of awesome sci-fi artwork and badass action for concept artist Greg Semkow. There you go. Oh, Serena doesn't have a wrench. Hold on a second. Serena, you should have a wrench. You're good like that. Wanger Van Skyver 2020. Absolutely. I'd be his vice president. That'd be fantastic. No, ash cans aren't in yet. We're waiting on the ash cans. I will let you know. They are cool. The ash can is 1998, The Diary of Heather Swain. And I realized something. You're gonna see. Okay, let me organize my thoughts. You're gonna see 1998 from Heather Swain's perspective, retrospectively. Okay, from the future, and that's what the ash can is. The next ash can will be the thing about this is I know it's like I know, like, at some point, like, you know, other people are helping me make good decisions, because the book ended perfectly for this to work out. The way Wrecked Planet ends just makes perfect sense. The next Wrecked Planet, the next ash can that goes along with that is Salamandroid. And it's what happened to Salamandroid. And if you read the book, you saw what happened to him, kind of. You're gonna find out where he's been, what happened to him. You know, if he survived, if he hibernated, like where Salamandroid went, and you know, it's perfect. I mean, so the first ash can's about Heather, the second one's going to be about Salamandroid, and then we'll go from there. But what I'm going to do is, when we launch the next campaign, and people are like, how are you going to, you know, if Blood Honey is, you know, out of print at that point, if they can't get it at the store, then, like, what are you going to do? How are you going to keep people involved? This is a soap opera. This is an ongoing thing. And what I'm going to do is, when we do Wrecked Planet, you're going to be able to buy Wrecked Planet. It's going to be Chromium, probably, or something like that. And then the other option will be, we're going to do a trade paperback of both of the two books together. So you can get either just the one single book, or you can buy a trade paperback, and it's going to be, you know, it's not going to be hardcover. I don't think I'm going to do a hardcover. Man, I can be convinced. But I'm saving the hardcover. I know some people want to go straight to hardcover all the time with these things. I still want to do comic books. I don't think a hardcover is a comic book. It's just a book. I still want to produce comic books. There's something about the disposability of comic books that's to be treasured. It's unique, the floppy cat spanker thing. And we build to a hardcover. We get enough story pages together. We get enough of a story together, and then we make that into a hardcover. I'm following the Walking Dead model. So, I mean, we're going to have very special comics. They're going to look like floppy comic books, but of course, they are the Lamborghini of comic books. They're going to be pretty and shiny and very desirable. Once we get enough story together, we're going to keep compiling it so that new fans can come on board. The key thing here is to always have new readers. And by next June, which is where I'm projecting Wrecked Planet is going to come out at this point, by next June, there are going to be people who had never heard of Cyberfrog, had never heard of Blood Honey, who are going to have a chance to just buy both of them together as a package, and then we move forward. We do the next one. We'll compile them. We'll keep compiling them, and that's what Robert Kirkman recommended to me. He said, just make sure you're always prepared to bring new fans on board, new readers on board. That is the key thing. So that's my plan. That is my whole thing. Now, will the ash cans be available later? Says Service. Yes. I went back and we're printing. Andrew Venable says, so soon? Yeah, always. Oh, June, you mean? Yeah, June. June is when Rec Planet is just going to be 48 pages. I don't want to do more than that anymore. We had a problem with the oversized 80-page version of this comic book. Fitting that into the Chromium cover, it was too thick. Chromium can only bend once. Okay, it can only be folded. It can't be made. You can't put a spine on Chromium. So they ended up using a thinner magazine stock for the paper, which to me caused some fluting on some of the pages. Not crazy about that. And that is just the end result of making a larger, longer comic. If we stuck it to 48 pages, then that kind of thing wouldn't happen. We could use, thicker, better quality paper, and everything would kind of work out better. So I'm learning as I go. Very frustrating sometimes. SJW Spidey's a new member. Oh, welcome, SJW Spidey. Nick Corvello says, hey, Uncle Lee, just curious about the time frame for standard Cyberfrog copy deliveries estimated at. I'm checking my mailbox daily in anticipation. I don't know. I'm not sure the order that they're being shipped out. It seems like people are getting them, and you should be getting yours soon, too. Margaret Miracle says, but it's digest sized? Ash cans are, or are they? I'm not sure if we're even going to do that in the future. We might just do these extra comics and call them ash cans. But, yeah, so anyway, the ash cans, I overprinted them by 50% because I realized that people were going to want them. It's like when people realize that it's 20 more pages of story, of Blood Honey story, and a little bit of insight into the next chapter of Wrecked Planet, people are going to want to buy them. So, who didn't order them, who didn't think they were important before. So I overprinted them by 50%. I believe I ordered 8,000 initially. We bumped that order up to 12,000. So there will be 4,000 copies to sell. I'm either going to add them to the line store so that, whoever wants to buy an ash can buy an ash can separately. It's important to me that you guys have the story, or you can wait until June for Wrecked Planet and everything. I'm going to compile everything. The first book with Wrecked Planet and Blood Honey together and the two ash cans is going to be thick. It's going to be thick. It's going to have a lot of pages in it. Blood Honey and the ash can together is 100 pages, and then we add another 48 and then another 20, 168 pages for the first kind of collected edition of the two chapters together. It's going to be a thick, it's going to be a thick book. I think you guys are going to be happy with it. Yeah. Let me see. Got my copy in the mail yesterday, says Nathan Burback. Thank you. Fud123 says, seemed like you needed the extra pages to introduce us to Cyberfrog. I still felt it ended way too quick, even at 80. I 100% agree. But you know what? The thing about it is also it's populated with so many double page spreads. That book has a lot of just spreads, and it's meant to just sort of suck you in and make you a part of it. I think double page spreads bring you into the book. It's a trick. It's a way to get people to immerse themselves in the story, and that's something. Thor Odinson's still waiting. Apparently took a stroll through the Bermuda Triangle. Spectre of Comics says, I felt privileged to be one of the first to review Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Campaign says, still want a thick, heavy coffee table, black and white frog, extra large. We might get to that. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So we're going to go. Let's move on here. SJW Spidey says, Heather Swain foot sketch when? You want me to draw Heather Swain with my foot? Oh, that would be thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, Mike S. Miller can draw with his feet. He can draw pretty well with his feet. He's like he's got like little monkey boy powers. I think that's what happens when you're low to the ground. You know, the lower you are to the ground, the more able you are to draw with your feet. I mean, I'm much higher to the ground, you know, higher off the ground. I'm 6 feet tall, and it's a long way. You know, I'm a long way. My head is a long way from my foot. So, you know, if I were... It's like right then the internet kicks out. That's hilarious. I'm back for we're approaching the even worse. These car videos are a bad idea. They're just a bad idea. You know, the connection never stays where I need it to be, and you know, it's just me rambling in my car. What is the point? Can I get around you? Go to church. All right, good, you did. People going to church on a Friday? I guess that's a good thing. You know, worship whenever you can. Got the United Methodist Church here. Walking out. It's like a lot of people I saw Elliot Fernandez doing just a walk and talk video. A lot of people are doing this now. You got Edwin doing walking and talking videos. Elliot Fernandez is doing them. You know, walking around. At least I try to have something to say. You know, before we start, I go, what am I talking about? How do I feel today? What's my vibe? What's my lecture about today? These guys just walk around with the camera. Just film themselves walking and running. Well, they're getting exercise. I can't, you know, I'm not getting exercise. I'm getting zero exercise. You know, I get out of bed, I go to sign comics, I come home, I draw until I fall over, get up and do it again. And that's the sound of health right there. That cough is the sound of perfect health. Felix Haas says, Uncle Ethan, you are a kind and generous man to keep offering Blood Honey to your fans, but when will we see Blood Honey in our local comic shops? I don't know. I hope soon. I mean, we're, you know, yeah, I do hope soon. I would like to see if I can get that thing to sell. But I mean, look, I still think Blood Honey is too premature. I really think by Wrecked Planet, the sequel to Blood Honey, is going to be an even bigger deal. And, you know, we're going to, at that point, it has to go in comic shops. You know, I want to have more books ready to go, more books ready to ship. I think, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel ready yet. I don't feel ready to compete with Max Visaggio's output yet. You know, a lot of people just kicking out a lot of work. I got my book out quick. That's good. I got 1,700 books done in the time it took you to do Blood Honey. Cheers to that. Everyone's thanking you for that. The world is thanking you. The world is thanking you for doing 1,700 comics that are unsellable and clogging up retailer shelves. Thank God. You're exactly what the industry needs. More attempts to get a Netflix deal at the expense of the readers and you know, local retailers. Really appreciate you. Cyberfrog, of course, like I said, of course Cyberfrog is going to get a Netflix deal. Of course it's going to be an animated movie, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's a comic book. I'm doing a comic book, and if something good happens from that, like a beautiful video game on the, what is it that the kids are playing these days? The Xbox 360? The Nintendo, the Super Ultra Nintendo? What are the kids playing? That's that'll be great. I would like a Cyberfrog video game, but that's not, you know, if I didn't get one, I wouldn't stop drawing Cyberfrog. You know, Cyberfrog is a comic book. I guess I'll just have to settle for making $935,000 on an issue. You know, we can't always get everything that we want, everyone. You know, that's not fair. That's childish. It's childish to think that way. Oh, goodness. All right, so now we're getting to that part of town where the internet definitely goes out. I don't know why. There's a bank right here. I don't know why there's no Wi-Fi in the air. I don't get it, but it is the case. So let me say goodbye in advance, and I'll just keep rambling until I cut out. I'll just keep rambling until the camera, the internet just goes away completely. To my 733 people watching me drive and talk to myself. That's YouTube. That's YouTube right now. Video content. Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sitting in my car, talking to 733 people about absolute pablum. Just nothing. Just nothing. But making it entertaining. That's the key. There's an ice cream shop up here. I'm tempted. I got to tell you. I'm tempted to pull over and get some soft serve. Should I do it? No, I'm not gonna do it. You know. Maybe I'll get some ice cream on the way home. All right, we got a red light here so I can read you guys. All right, do the Jeremy Carr video clap. I always do at the beginning. Car video. That's where we're at right now. That's what we're doing. Margaret Miracle says, stop and get it. Yeah. I will, I'll get it on the way home. No, I won't. I won't do it. You know. Here's the thing. If you're going to have sugar, if you're going to have like dessert, choose wise. Don't just take whatever's in front of you. Think about it. Make a plan. I mean, apple cider donuts are what people should be eating right now. It's autumn. It feels like autumn. There's a nice nippy chill. There's a nice nipply chill in the air. Choose your dessert wisely. Apple cider donuts right now sound good to me. Yeah. Well, you could have ice cream with the apple cider donuts. That would be good too, frankly. I don't know. A whole crew of kids just went by on their bikes. I'm happy to see that. I almost feel like kids don't ride bikes anymore. I lived for my bicycle when I was like 8 or 9. I was on my bicycle all the time. I don't see that anymore. Kids are sitting at home playing their Super Nintendos. Kids are at home sitting there watching their VCRs, playing their Super Nintendos, instead of getting out and getting some exercise, playing the baseball like I did when I was a kid. Playing the baseball. I'll tell you. Played third base. Third baseman. Sitting on their rear ends, on their PlayStations, watching my car videos. It's just not like it used to be. Times have changed. Times have changed, and not necessarily for the better. These kids, all they care about today are comic books. They're not reading classics. They're just filling their heads with garbage and hooey. Rolling comic books up and putting them in their back pockets. Collecting frogs out of the stream. They really need to be getting more exercise and keeping their nose in the books. These darn kids. It's malarkey. You're right. Looking at porn mags. Yeah. Stealing pornography. That's what kids are doing these days. Stealing their father's pornography. When I was their age, I don't know. Watching Skinamax. I miss rock fights. I do too. Super Channel Awesome Time. There was a cliff with these dirt bombs in Delaware, or off the Delaware River when I lived in New Jersey in Beverly. We used to throw them at each other. They just explode in just powdered, muddy dirt. It's wonderful. Just made a great noise, like fuck. Like it made the noise that the dirt bomb would make when it hit a kid in the side of the head was fuck. THOK. Now, if you can throw a dirt bomb at another kid and it makes that noise, you're never going to stop throwing dirt bombs. Fuck. The only other way to get that noise is to take a sock, a gym sock, and put a bunch of other gym socks in the bottom of it and make kind of a war ball and chain out of a sock, and then have fights with your little brother with those. You know, you can smack somebody really hard in the head with a sock with a bunch of other socks, in the toe, like, bottomed out in the toe. And it makes a great noise. It doesn't hurt too bad. You're going to try to make it hurt. You're going to swing it as hard as you can to try to make it hurt, but it's not going to hurt that bad. And it will make a thock noise. It doesn't make a thick noise. It's not T-H-I-C-C. It's T-H-O-K, thock. Great Kirby-esque sound effect, and you can make it yourself. No problem. Hey, how come the internet is holding out? How come my Wi-Fi is holding out up to this point? It never should do that. It almost always cuts out. Peculiar, very peculiar. I'll take you guys in. I'll just sat you next to me while I'm signing comics. Put you up on a little tripod, and together we'll sign comics for hours. I mean, I don't even... Hey. God, women drivers. No survivors. Killing Van Skivers. 100% true. All right, everyone. I gotta go. Love you all. I'll see you all soon. I'll probably do a video tonight with Wanger. We need a little Wang. We need a little Wang Chung. I'll see you around. Take care, guys.